Hi everyone, Animal Girl here, back with another edition of TV Talk. It's Tuesday, and that means it's Star Wars Day. And this week's episode of The Clone Wars was Pursuit of Peace. As the Clone Wars drags on, a bill has been placed before the Senate to deregulate the banks in the hopes of getting money to create more clones to win the war against the Separatists and their droid army. However, several senators, including Padme Amidala, Bail Organa, and I can't remember the name of the Rhodian senator, I'm sorry. And Mothman are against the passing of this bill, while others are undecided. While the small group is able to bring several senators over to their side in voting against the bill, there are some who still believe that more troops are what they need to win this war, and others who have been intimidated through threats or physical violence into voting to pass the bill. Now, Padme and her friends must think of a way to persuade enough senators to help them pass this bill, not only to end the war, but in the hopes of helping the common people of the Republic. Okay, things I liked about this episode. First off, unlike other Star Wars episodes, which mainly focuses on the Jedi and the clone troopers, this one focused mainly on the political side of what was going on with the war. But in addition to that, we also learn what's happening to the ordinary citizens. Padme makes a wonderful speech near the end of the episode where she talks about one of her aides who's just an ordinary citizen of the Republic and the hardships that she and her family are going through. And I'm not going to give away any spoilers as to what it is. You're just going to have to go watch the episode if you haven't. But it is an amazing speech that she gives, and it shows what the people are going through. And in a sense, that's true with any war. It's not just the soldiers fighting the wars that are affected by the war. It's the people at home who are too, the families who are worried to death about their loved ones out on the front line, and the common everyday citizens who suffer from the cutbacks in funds for school and everything to pay money towards the war. So this does touch on that, and I felt it was a very important thing to get across, as it's not just a Star Wars thing, it's a real life thing as well. It's the common everyday citizens like you and me who put our people in power, who vote for the people who represent us. And sometimes when we're seeing political stuff in shows like Star Wars, The Clone Wars, we kind of forget that because they focus mainly on what the military is doing or what the senates are doing, not necessarily how these things are affecting the ordinary people. So I liked how they did that with this one. Second off, the second thing I really liked about this episode was that this was basically Padme's moment to shine. This episode was basically all about her. Bail Organa was originally going to give the speech at the end of the episode, and then something happened to him, and Padme had to step in and gave what I thought was an amazing speech. Again, if you have not seen this episode, or you haven't seen this episode in a while, I recommend going back and watching it. Just even if you just fast forward to her speech, because she gives this amazing speech that I don't think anybody in the Senate was expecting. So it really was her moment to shine. We do spend a lot of time with her in this episode. We don't see any of the other characters. We don't see Anakin or Ahsoka or Obi-Wan or Rex or Cody or Yoda. I mean, the Jedi are mentioned, but it's more the Jedi Council that's mentioned. We don't see them. We don't even see the temple, except maybe a glimpse of the temple in the background. This episode focuses squarely on the political side of what's going on within the Star Wars universe at this point in time, and the humanitarian side with the ordinary people, and on Padme, which was really nice. Also, this is kind of a part of the arc, and it's a broken arc, really, because they don't follow back to back with each other. But this episode takes place after Heroes on Both Sides, but before Senate murders. And we know this because Mina Bonteri, who was in the last episode, Heroes on Both Sides, is mentioned twice in this episode. The first time is when someone, I can't remember who, announces that she's been killed. She died. And the second time is when one of Padme's friends, I think it was Bail, mentions her as well, like what happened to her, to Padme. So, not in a, we need to back down, just as a, thinking that because, Nina was her friend, that, she may feel a little more driven to end what was going on. So we do know that this takes place probably following fairly closely on the heels of Heroes on Both Sides. And we know it takes place before Senate murders because the Rhodian senator that we see in this episode, and again, I can't remember his actual name. All I can remember is that Padme calls him Uncle Ono, or Ano, calls him Uncle Ano, out of respect. He's in this episode, and we know for a fact that in Senate murders, he's poisoned and passes away. So this has to take place prior to that. Okay, things I didn't like about this episode. There really wasn't much about this episode I didn't like. Again, I felt that there was a lot in there that has to do with real life. And that the episode did a very good job of touching on that. So not a lot that I had a problem with. They did show the political side, how some people will use bribes and threats to get votes in their way, how other people will, just trust the political people's dedication to the people who put them in power, to help out and whatnot. And how it is the common everyday people who are the ones that the senators and representatives should be thinking about first and foremost. it's not the senators, it's not the people who serve the senators, it's this and the representatives, it's the senators and the representatives who serve the people. Is basically, I believe, what this episode was trying to get across, and it did so beautifully. Basically, in my opinion. Okay, question of the week. Now, there is this one senator or representative, and I do not know his name, and I do not know his species, but once I describe him, I'm sure you're going to know who I'm talking about, and if you know his name or species, please let me know in the comment section. But he's blue, and he has, like, these horn thingies, and he's always with Palpatine. Now, at the end of the episode, he and Palpatine were having a conversation, and this conversation leads me to believe that this senator may know exactly who Palpatine really is and what his initial plans are. Now, my question to you is, do you think that this senator really does know what's going on, what's going to happen when the Clone War ends, what Palpatine's long game plan is to gain power over everything, or not? Do you think he's just as in the dark about what's going on as anyone else? Please leave your answers in the comment section. Also, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. And please like and share this video if you are watching it on Facebook, and like and subscribe if you are watching it on YouTube. And feel free to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 4 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note, all pictures seen within this video belong to their respective artists. I own absolutely nothing. Sorry if I'm getting a little tongue-tied there. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, feel free to check out my related Star Wars videos. And also feel free to check out my other TV Talk videos on Star Wars. Please note that a smiley face next to the episode indicates that it's an episode that is one of my personal favorites. Frowny face means it's one I really didn't like at all. Okay, also feel free to check out my other TV Talk videos. And my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, one thing I'd like to touch on, and that is to please note that my TV Talk videos on Star Wars, obviously, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Dragons will be posted both to my Facebook page and my YouTube's channel. All other TV Talk videos will be posted exclusively to my Facebook page. If you'd like to check out any of those videos, or the backlogged videos on Star Wars, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Dragons, feel free to check them out on my Facebook page. I will have the link in the description section. As always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.